Hi-ho Stampers, Deb Valder here, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to show you how to do a magazine holder for greeting cards or for note cards. It's a very simple project. You only need a few supplies and a little bit of time, and you can come up with a great gift to give to someone. And with the holidays coming up, this is a great time to do this. So this is the one we're going to work on today. It has, like I said, the magazine holder. And then it also has, in mine, I'm putting in 8 little note cards. And they're all stamped with the same stamp set, and it has some matching envelopes to go along with it. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to take our trimmer, and we're going to take a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and we're going to bring it over to the 9-inch mark. And we're going to take and we're going to cut off this 3-inch piece right over here. So I'm going to take and I'm going to use that as scrap paper for something else. And now we have a 9-inch by 12-inch piece of cardstock. What we need to do now is to start scoring it. So our first score is going to be, with the 9-inch piece up on top, it's going to be at 3 3/4 and 5 1/4. We're going to take and we're going to turn it so that the 12-inch mark is up by our top, and we're going to take and we're going to score at the 2-inch mark and the 6 1/2-inch mark. Now the 6 1/2-inch mark on this cutter is right here in the gully. It's in between these two platforms. So you just have to make sure you line it up with that one that's right there in the middle, and we're going to score it at 6 1/2. Now we need to do one more set of scores. And what we're going to do is we're going to take, this is the 2-inch mark, and with the 2-inch mark up on the top, I'm going to bring it over to the 1 3/4-inch mark. So I'm going to score at, now what you want to do is be very careful. In between these two score marks right here is the only place that we're going to score. We don't want to score down here, and we don't want to score the part on top. So I'm going to bring this, and I'm lifting this up with my finger. I'm going to bring this down to the 1 score mark and just score it over to the other score mark right over here. I'm going to turn it, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go over to the 1 3/4-inch mark. I'm going to start it down here at this score line, and I'm going to stop it at this score line right here. Now what we need to do is to take and to do our cuts. So holding it again with the 12-inch at the top, I'm going to go back to this section right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to cut this piece and this piece, leaving our spline in the middle. All right, we don't want to cut that spline because that's what holds our magazine together. So what I did was I lined up this score mark right here in the gully of my cutter. And instead of scoring, I'm going to take and I'm going to cut. So what I do is, so that I don't make a mistake and go farther than I should, I'm going to line this up with the score mark in the middle, and I'm going to cut down. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. I'm going to line up this little score mark with the gully. I'm going to start it right here at this score mark, and I'm going to go down. Now I'm going to flip it and do the same exact thing. I'm going to take and put this in my gully to where the score mark is. And I'm going to start from this piece right here and go down, and then I'm going to do it the same right here on my last piece. So I actually just made 4 cuts. As soon as I'm done with this one, I just made 4 cuts. Right here, right here, right here, and right here. So this is not cut, and this is not cut, but I do have a score line that goes all the way down. So let's just move this out of the way for just a moment, because what I have to do now is I have to make some tick marks on here so that I can do one more cut on each side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up 1 3/4 inches. So I'm taking, my my ruler, and I'm putting it at this cut right here, and I'm going to make a little tick mark at 1 3/4. So there's my 1 3/4 right there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I need to go up to 1 3/4, and I need to make my little tick mark. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this to the top, and I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to do it at 2 1/2. I'm going to start my 2 1/2-inch over here at the end, and I'm going to go to the 2 1/2-inch mark right here. I'm going to take and put this over at the edge of my paper, and I'm going to go over to my 2 1/2-inch mark right there. Okay, so now I have my tick marks. Now what I need to do is to cut those off. So I'm going to bring my trimmer back in, and I'm going to line up my little tick marks. And what I mean by that is I'm taking the pencil mark from here and here and just lining them back up in the gully of my trimmer, and I'm just going to cut those right off. That's just scrap paper for now. You can take and erase these marks after you're done, but I'm just going to take and line up these 2 tick marks, and I'm going to cut them off. And believe it or not, we're almost done with our box. So I'm going to take and put my trimmer away because I don't need that anymore. And I'm going to use my bone folder to make all of my creases. So let me just get them started so I know where they are. These, you'll see that I'm actually making the spline right here. Okay? See this middle piece right here? This is the spline of my magazine holder. So now what I need to do is I need to take my bone folder and just make some really good creases, because this really makes a difference. It's kind of like when you're ironing, when you're sewing. If you don't iron, you don't have good creases, and good creases make good, good sewing. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're just folding in all of our, and what I'm doing is I'm making sure that all of these lines line up so they're perfectly even all the way across. Okay, let me just make sure that's straight before I bone fold it. And here's this one. And last but not least are the top ones. Lining those up. There we go. So now we have all of our folds. Now it's time to take and put our adhesives on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, and the first thing I'm going to put my adhesive on are these two pieces right here. I like to use fast fuse, but you can use you can use sticky strip. I wouldn't use something that's not going to hold, because there's nothing worse than getting a project together and then having the whole thing fall apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to just use my fast fuse. And with fast fuse, what you do is if you go lighter, the lighter the pressure, the easier it is, and the better it comes out. There's no gummy, there's no sticking, I'm no, I don't know, sticky, I guess. Now before we do this, we want to be very careful that we don't lay that down there, but I need to put adhesive on these two pieces right here also. So I'm just going to take my fast fuse again and put my adhesive on here and on here. And then we are ready to start putting it together. Alrighty, so the first thing that we're going to do is to take these two pieces down here, and we're going to bring them in just like this. You want to be very careful, but you're going to take this side right here, and you're going to lay it over, lining up this side right here, and once you put this fast fuse on here, it's there for good, so you want to make sure you get it right the first time. And you're going to do the same thing with this one right here. You're going to take this, and you're going to bring it up, and over, lining up everything along the way. Okay? And then this just goes in, and this one goes in. And the last thing that we have to do is to adhere this piece right here. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take and I'm going to lay this like this with my pencil. So all I did was I just laid this down here like this, brought it over, used a pencil mark just to show where I want my fast fuse to stop. Okay? Now I just have pencil marks, you see right here? I just have pencil marks right there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use my fast fuse, and I know where to stop it up at the top, because you don't want it to be up here, otherwise it's going to end up going on the outside, and then you're going to have a mess. So we're just going to take and fast fuse these together just like that, and then bring this up, and you're just going to adhere it together just like this. One side and the other side. And now what we need to do is, we need to take and embellish it. So what I did, we'll set this aside for now, and what I did was I took my designer series paper and I made the cuts to it, and these are for the two sides and for the front, and we'll just take and start putting them on. Make sure if you have a right way and a wrong way, an upside down and a right side up, that you get these. And with this one this is the feather, this is called back to black paper, but the feather has an up and a down. If I did it this way, it would be upside down because all the little stems are going upward, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to lay this on here. I do have fast fuse on the back of that. I'm just going to take and lay that on here like this. So that's my one side panel. And then I'm going to do the front piece right here, and again making sure that the feather stems are going down. And then on this side, and see that hides that little seam right there. And then on this side right here, we have this last piece right here. Okay, now we just need to add our feathers. Let me just show you the finished product one more time. See how this is this piece right here? We need to add our feathers. So the way I did that was I ran it through my Big Shot with our framelits. Let's see, we've got our Big Shot right here with our framelits. So I stamped all 4 feathers, and then I used my framelits to cut them out, ran it through the Big Shot, and this is what we have left. We have, I'm going to make this little piece right here. So I have my 4 feathers, and I just took my mini glue dots and I attached them together just in a fan type way. So I'm going to adhere these 2 together, and then I'm going to take this one and adhere that one. And you see I'm just kind of fanning them out just a little bit. And I have my 2 sets of fans, and then I just took my baker's twine and I made some bows. And if I take my good scissors and cut them apart, I'm going to again take a mini glue dot, and I like to roll it so it's very tiny. Put it on the back of that, add it to there, and then I'm just going to take my box and we're going to put one of these on each side. And I do that with some mini glue dots. Just take a couple of them. That's all you need, is just a couple of them. And there's one side, and here's the other side. Okay, so there is our box. I told you that was pretty fast. Now to fill the box, what we did, I told you we made some note cards, and here are the note cards that I made. All I did was take a 5 1/4 or 5 1/2 inch piece of black by 4 1/4, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and then this one is just 5 1/4 by 4. And here's my white envelope. I just stamped a few of the leaves on it from the 4 feather stamp set, and then I have just a note stamp. I had that one actually just made. It's a personalized stamp, but I think what I'll do is I'll just stamp this one with my Memento ink right down the side here and put just a note up on top. And then you have all of this space over here that you can write a little note. Now while you're doing that, you really should embellish your envelopes to match. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to stamp it on my envelope. Now one of the things you really need to know is that the post office does not like you using anything down here, because that's where they put their little squiggly marks. Have you ever had a piece of mail come to you and it has a white strip over it? It's because they're putting it over so that they can put their little coating on here. You'll put your name and address up here and address it to them, put your stamp there, and you're good to go. That is my project. Like I said, I did 8 note cards to put into my little box right here, but you can make as many as you want. You can make full-size note cards if you want, and they just end up going right inside here like that, and that's your project. I hope you enjoyed my post for today. If you have any questions, just let me know, and take care. Have a great day.